Papa Brad's Gaming coming at you with one of the most highly anticipated pinball packs to ever hit AtGames, Williams Pinball Volume 1 featuring Medieval Madness. This is the pack we've all been waiting for. We're going to start it off with some stock footage from AtGames showing off all three tables in action. Then Papa Brad's going to dive in deep and play all three tables, give you a good look at what they look like, and give you my final verdict. Is this the best pinball pack to ever land on AtGames? We'll discuss it at the end of the video. Let's take a quick look at the tables. You get three tables. You're going to get Medieval Madness, the Getaway, High Speed 2, and Junkyard. Three great Williams pinball classics, with Medieval Madness being an absolute favorite and an S-tier pinball table. Shabam, and here it is, Medieval Madness, finally on AtGames, 4K Pinball Native. Let's take a close-up look at the table. There you have the dragon sitting on the playfield. He does breathe fire at times. You've got one of the greatest pinball tables of all time right here in Medieval Madness. If you know anything about pinball, you know this is one of the most popular tables ever made. Fantastic table. Looking really good on the AtGames pinball. Let's take a look at some notes from AtGames on this table. Let me pull them up. The stunning collection of three authentic Williams tables includes the Getaway High Speed 2, Junkyard, and Medieval Madness in two exciting ways, as arcade perfect simulations in their original form, or as remastered video game experiences enhanced with updated graphics, animated toys, and a host of new features. Williams Pinball Volume 1 Legends Mini Pack is now available to purchase on the AtGames eStore via Legends on-device purchase at App Store X. Now let's talk about the most important part, the technical statistics. Williams Pinball The Getaway High Speed 2 has an average flipper latency of 50.77 milliseconds and display resolution of 1440 by 2560 pixels. Williams Junkyard has an average flipper latency of 45.6 milliseconds and a display resolution of 1440 by 2560 pixels. Williams Pinball Medieval Madness has an average flipper latency of 55.20 milliseconds. It also has a display resolution of 1440 by 2560 pixels. Known issues being worked on. Some users may find haptics distracting. Haptics volume can be adjusted using the master volume and channel buttons at the top right of the playfield. So you may have to crank your haptics down. Occasionally the loading screen will flicker when launching a table. In rare cases, customer may observe slight micro-stuttering during gameplay. Switching flipper and nudge buttons inside the pinball settings does not function with Zen pinball tables. That's pretty much all of them. And so those are your known issues being worked on. And we were off some footage of the first ball, first game, first time ever playing Medieval Madness natively on the 4KP. And I have to say, immediately I feel right at home. They did a fantastic job porting this to AtGames. Plays exactly how I expected it to play. And let's see if I can take out the first castle. Let's see how long it takes Papa Brad to take out the first castle. I did crank the SSF down a little bit, especially for recording this video. And just like that, the first castle has just been blown up. The shot accuracy is absolutely fantastic. Not having a problem with flipper lag.
I am so too grim, and I speak toward you.
This is what we've been waiting for. It's been worth the wait. Three fantastic Williams tables, starting with arguably one of the best pinball tables ever created. This is the definition of an S tier table in an Instabuy, a must-have. You gotta get this. It's so good. And let's zoom ahead to some multi-ball action.
The whole game starts off as a good versus evil thing back in the ancient times. The basic object of the game in playing Medieval Madness is to destroy the King of Pain. He's the evil warrior who's taken over the land, and he's taken over all the castles.
Fire! I am the Duke of Bourbon!
The King of Pain has 5 evil men that are under his leadership. And each of these guys is kind of a humorous tone. The Duke of Bourbon, who is kind of this drunk guy who you're trying to blow out of the air. There's the Earl of Ego, who's this real pompous guy who you just love to destroy his castle because he's so annoying.
I am the Earl of Ego, and I am far superior to you.
The one thing that your beginner player, the first thing they'll see is the exploding castle. And this brings a lot of excitement to the game and keeps people interested. You have to hit the drawbridge, and the drawbridge will come down. And then once that's down, there's a gate inside. And so you got to hit the gate. And once the gate pops up, you can shoot into the castle, and then you see this great show of the castle physically blowing apart on the playfield.
Stop it!
Another fun feature of the game is the trolls. These guys surprise a lot of people the first time you play because they're hiding under the playfield normally, and when you make the right shot, they'll pop up from the playfield.
Trolls rule!
So you're trying to hit them 3 times to destroy them, and then they go back down. And all along this, the trolls will taunt you and say things to you. And
Ow! That didn't hurt a bit!
there's a big dragon over the ramp, and the whole concept on there is to make the ramp 3 times, and then you're able to shoot way up into the back into the damsel tower. And they're asking you to save me, save me.
This is like totally medieval.
Over on the left side, when you fall into the catapult, you get to throw projectiles at the castle. So when you fall in there enough, you actually get to pick the projectile. So there's one of 5 different humorous things, like a cat and a bowling ball, that you get to throw at the castle and see it explode.
Fire!
People enjoy laughing as they play the game. So if you look closer at the game, you'll see all these little elements, like the cow flying in the back glass, or the troll wearing gym shoes. You know, there's all these humorous, wacky things going on in the kingdom. Attack from Mars was a really strong earning pin last year, and we're showing in our early testing that Medieval Madness is earning even better than Mars. So we're really looking at this being a blockbuster game.
My tenure in the industry started back in 1937. I came into the industry when games were being changed over from battery power to electrical power. It seems that like about every 10 to 15 years, the pin game industry seems to lose a little bit of acceptance in the field. Medieval Madness is an exciting game to play. It could conceivably be a game that resurrects this industry.
Medieval Madness is an absolute masterpiece. This is an S tier table. This is a table people are going to come back to again and again. This is going to be a table that the pinball wizards are going to love. They're going to score chase it. It's going to be absolutely incredible. This table alone is worth the price of the pack, and you're getting 2 other fantastic Williams pinball tables. This gets a top recommendation and a full legit certification from Proper Brad. Huge shout out and thank you to AtGames, who did send me this table pack for the purpose of a review. Now that I've disclosed, let's move on to the next game. Next up we have High Speed 2, the Getaway. Another absolutely stellar table from Williams. SSF on this table is absolutely phenomenal. Be prepared to have your socks blown off, because the ZZ Top music and the SSF sound on this table is one of the better ones, I would say, on AtGames Pinball, if not the best. This table sounds phenomenal. Look at the snow on the mountaintop. How cool is that? I'm just gonna say it straight up. This is another S tier table. So that's 2 of the 3 tables that I would say that are among the best tables that have ever been put on AtGames Pinball. So 2 of the 3 are in my absolute top rating. That being said, let's jump into some gameplay of High Speed 2, the Getaway. Let's go.
I'm concerned with satisfying ball flow, kinetics. I will not sacrifice. I will not sacrifice a great shot on the playfield.
Steve Ritchie has designed some of the best-selling games that Williams has ever built. From Flash, Firepower, and High Speed, to Black Knight, F-14, and most recently, Terminator 2.
My games are never subdued. They're always intense, as intense as we can make them. I'm not sure why that is, but I don't do cute.
Steve's newest game is called The Getaway. It's based on the same theme as High Speed, arguably the most profitable pinball machine of all time.
I would say I'm a speed freak. It produces an adrenaline you can't get any other way. That's what we've tried to embody in The Getaway, is that adrenaline.
Although it's based on High Speed, The Getaway is much more advanced than its predecessor. Brand new features include the supercharger.
It actually has enough force to move the entire game. The ball spinning around, it moves the game slightly from left to right.
On the front of the cabinet, a gear shift replaces the standard shooter.
While you're playing the ball, hitting the flippers, you reach down and shift, and you've got to coordinate that with not losing the ball, and it's fun.
The Getaway also features a fully functional tachometer, electronic flippers, and a sound package that includes a classic license from ZZ Top. Begin The Getaway with a gear shift that fires the ball onto the playfield and around the back to the upper right flipper. Speed millions are then achieved by successive shots around the small loop. The central feature, the supercharger, starts lit to give players a hint of the game's velocity. The tachometer is advanced by completing these RPM loops. Players need 1 loop to redline in first gear, 2 to redline in second, and so on. After each redline, the gears are advanced with the shifter on the front of the cabinet. Each gear holds a different award. Redlining in first brings the player 3 million points. Doing the same in second gear will hold over the bonus and bonus multiplier. Video mode is achieved by a redline in third gear. During video mode, players use the left and right flipper buttons, along with the shifter, to negotiate a congested highway. 4 RPM loops in fourth gear will begin supercharger mode, when all major shots are worth millions. Finally, if a player can push the game into a fifth gear redline, he can enter Redline Mania with 1 more shot to the supercharger. Multi-ball will begin, and every major feature will be lit. The scoring possibilities are endless. The road to multi-ball begins with these traffic lights. Lock balls by contacting all 3 stand-up targets of a particular color. Once a bank of lights is complete, the ramp at the back of the playfield will lower. clearing the way for a shot to the lock mechanism. After 2 balls are locked, run the red light by locking the third. Then, after a quick show, multi-ball.
Dispatch, this is 504. Suspect wearing a red light. Over. Roger, 504. Apprehend him.
A jackpot can only be achieved during multi-ball. But first, the ramp must be lowered with a shot into the supercharger. Then, either right flipper can be used to collect the jackpot with a shot up the ramp. If a player can then send 2 more balls into the supercharger, he'll have a chance to score a super jackpot with the same shot. In order to cultivate a dedicated following, 2 ball savers have been designed into the Getaway. The kickback feature in the left drain lane will propel a dune ball back onto the playfield. Kickback is relit when one of the 2 target banks is complete. Another feature called pre-ride returns a ball to the playfield should it drain too quickly.
Don't move.
Near the bottom of the playfield are the freeway lights. They are advanced like this. After a ball comes down one of the return lanes, the player must then send it around the freeway loop. This will advance freeway values toward light extra ball, which can be collected with a shot to the eject hole. Also collected at the eject hole is the burn rubber random feature. Burn rubber is lit with a gear shift and awards one of 15 items such as video mode, extra ball, instant multi-ball, and big points. The supercharger was designed with an eye toward both minimum maintenance and maximum earnings. It circulates balls optomagnetically, like an atomic particle accelerator. Most importantly, it uses no moving parts. The result is one of the most exciting and trouble-free features ever designed. Another first is this new pivoting playfield mount, which permits effortless service to both sides of the playfield. In the first position, the playfield is moved up and out to expose the back portion in a way never before possible. Now, when opened, the playfield will stand over a foot higher in the cabinet, providing easy access to every component. For the first time on a Williams game, you'll find this true pitch level. This speeds game setup, as playfields can be leveled without removing the glass. Other Getaway features include all stainless steel ramps and an uncomplicated single-level playfield. The Getaway is a physical game that offers players and operators a brand new experience. In the Getaway, players will find the kinetic embodiment of the driving experience. Inside the coin door, operators will discover early profits and the kind of massive, stable collections that can only be earned by such a truly addictive game. The Getaway from Williams, carrying on a tradition of games built to be intense as we can make them.
And last but not least, you got a fun, quirky table, a deep cut called Junkyard. Let's check it out.
Great! Now get that hand running.
Don't listen to her. Get the weather vane.
I really like Junkyard personally, but this is kind of a deep cut, and you know, it is still a very fun table. I would rate this table like a nice solid 8 or 9. I do really enjoy it. I would say it, you know, it's kind of on the level of something like Party Zone. Has a cool wrecking ball in the middle of the playfield. Super easy to multi-ball. Fun table. It's got a lot of humor in it. It's got a toilet on the table. I cannot enjoy that. It's pretty funny. As for my final rating for the whole pack, I would say this is a must-buy. This is a full-on legit purchase. I give this my highest recommendation. Just a super collection of tables. You really can't go wrong, so check it out. It's $15 well spent. If this is your first time checking out the channel, be sure to subscribe. Like the video so YouTube will get it out there. And as always, my friends, stay legit.
got a boot phone.
Radar assembled.